When you go to court, you go before a judge overseeing the case. But how does someone go from an attorney to putting on the black robe? A new book from a local attorney explores that process and tells the stories of some judges who made the journey to the bench. Here to tell us more about it, I'm joined by Jeffrey L. Goodman, the author and curator of the book, Judges: Perspectives of the Bench. So Jeff, thanks for your time this afternoon.
Good to be here.
Yeah, we want to jump right in and talk a little bit about why you wrote this book.
Well, I had spent 25 years on the judicial nominating commissions at the state and federal level, and it's a fairly opaque process that's not very well known to people that seek judicial office, and so I wanted to open up the possibility of better understanding it. I started to write that book and thought to bring some gravitas to the book. I would invite some judges to write, assembled a list of what turned out to be 70 judges, which was way too many, and thought that many of them would decline because they're too busy, and all but 5 said yes. And so it turned out that I had this book, which was a book of essays by 65 judges.
It's a process that's so important, and like you said, not a lot of people know about it. So kind of who is the audience and what can people learn from reading this book?
The primary audience are people that want to know more about how judging works. Also people that want to become judges themselves, because the decision to become a judge is one that requires a lot of introspection to decide whether you actually have what it takes to be a judge. There are many great advocates that would make lousy judges, and that's because they're A-type personalities, and they're much better at advocating a position than listening to two and deciding which party should win.
Anything that you feel like you really learned about yourself or about this process when you were putting all of this together?
Well, I learned a lot about the judiciary that I didn't know. I got to know judges in a different way who worked with me to write the book. There are some great stories about judges in this book. One in particular is our Chief Justice of the Iowa Supreme Court, Susie Christensen. That's chapter 14. It took her 14 times to get on the Supreme Court.
Oh, wow. And
she writes about the perseverance and persistence that it took for her to accept no 14 times. And I really admire Justice Christensen for her gumption and her diligence in seeking the office, and she's a wonderful Chief Justice.
So some familiar names, familiar faces. You know, we hear a lot about, okay, judicial independence. What is that really in a nutshell, and why is it so important?
Well, we have 3 branches of government, the executive, legislative, and judicial. I happen to think that they're all 3 important, but the judicial branch plays a very important and independent role. The governor, the executive, and the legislative branch have to work together all the time. The judicial branch has to stand independent and judge what's going on around it. They're brought disputes by the governor, by the legislature, by people of the state of Iowa, and they have to decide who wins, who loses, and what the law should be.
Very important. All right, before we let you go, where can people find this book?
Judgebookbycover.com, or they can call my office and we'll box up a copy and I'll inscribe it for them.
Okay, well, hey, thanks for your time. Congratulations on the book, and good luck with everything.
Thank you, Janae.
All right.